see if I can get it situated. Hi, everyone. I know no one's here yet. We're trying to get this going again. I thought I had the item fixed and it wasn't fixed. So give me a minute. All right. All right. Can you see my new one? Okay, so is anybody coming in? Hi, everybody again. It's just me at the moment, and that's okay. I don't know why this happens. Okay, did you leave me? Okay, I don't know what's going on. That's okay. I'm going to wait until people show up so I can actually start talking. If you are here watching, say hi. Hi, Wendy. I don't know what's going on with this. I tried to fix it. Hi, Missy. Yay. Yay. I don't know. I'll figure this out. One day I will figure it out. But anyway, trying new things, right? So, how is everybody today? Everybody's good? I'm good. Had a busy week, but that's good. I did go to the Goodwill 50% off sale today, even though I said I wasn't going to go. I was going to be strong. But I went and I got some good stuff. I'm going to actually making room here. I'm going to film a haul. But I picked up a couple of little things. This is a Torrid top. I actually put Torrid back. A lot of Torrid went back because it just doesn't sell for me. So it was regularly $8.49. So, $4, $4.25, something like that. Yeah, so not bad. I could definitely make money on that. But there wasn't a lot of, like, the Torrid that I put back was just, yeah, it is hard to say no to 50% off. But I was trying to restrain myself. I was trying to be good. It didn't really work, but that's okay. Anyway, so I do have a couple of things that I want to talk about today. And if you guys want to talk about something, put it in the chat. We'll talk about that as well. I want to start by talking about Poshmark Lives and how Poshmark is really, really pushing them. And, they're really making the market there for them. They are, they're all in our feeds and everything else. And if you're doing live shows, I'm sure you're loving that they're marketing that they're pushing the shows, because that's really good for you and your business, right? Some people are saying it's a little unfair because the Posh shows still are not, they're not everybody is allowed to do them yet. They're still in beta, apparently. So they're finding that it's a little skewed, like it's not fair to the sellers that don't have access and their sales are going down because of the live sales and them being pushed. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think that Poshmark's doing too much to generate sales for the live shows, or are you okay with it? Have you been unfollowing people because your feed is totally messed up with like live show notifications? I have my water tonight. So I get a lot of notifications for live shows. That's a gimme. It's on our little news feed page, right? Like right here. No, can't see that one. And they're there, but they don't bother me. And it's really interesting that because I'm on both Posh Canada and Posh US, there's a lot more shows on Posh US. So the feed there it has a lot more of the live show kind of push, which is, you know what? If I was doing live shows, I would like it. But it does seem a little bit unfair because not everybody has access. And yeah, they do make more money if they sell for like $5. They're still making $3.95, right? I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of live shows. I've talked about that. I do still do my silence. I will be doing one tomorrow morning actually because I'm still trying to find sort of that weekly, that one day a week where it's like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to do a silent show just to sort of be a part of it because I know that Poshmark really loves us to be a part of everything. They want us to use all the features they bring out, and they really like that. But going live on and doing a sale that way, I'm not 100% sure I would like it. I've done it one or two and they're okay. I visited a show yesterday because somebody was doing their first show and I wanted to support that person, and she did a really good job. The music wasn't too loud. She did have her little dog with her, but he was like in a little like a baby carrier type thing. It was really cute. So you know what? The dog made it, a little more fun, and she did a really good job. But you know what? I've been popping in and out of shows, and I've gone into shows where the music's blaring and people are yelling and they're making sales. So you know what? Good for you. You do it. That's great. But I've also been into other shows where, you know what, they've been on for 2 hours and their items over here, they've had one or two sales and that's it. And it just makes me wonder if they're really worth it. Are they making money doing it? Are the sellers making money? I don't know. I mean, why are they doing it for exposure? Are they doing it for that sense of community? Because when I visited the show yesterday, I got into the chat a little bit, which was really good. I don't normally chat a lot in the shows, so I was missing out on that. So I don't know. I think I will be going into a couple more shows just to see what they're like to give them a chance. But this is where, and maybe this is going to be a little controversial, but sometimes with Poshmark, especially with their you go girl and the parties and all this kind of stuff, that's where the MLM vibes come for me. You go into these shows and all their PFFs are there and they buy from each other, which they're supporting each other, which is great. But I don't know, is it worth it? What do you guys, are you going to be doing like live shows at all? Do you care about this at all? I mean, I understand why Poshmark brought them out. I understand it's a money-making thing and it's working for them, and I understand that. I understand that some sellers are killing it and they're loving it, and that's great too. I'm just not seeing I think I'm seeing fake success, if you know what I mean, because I think you did some silent shows, Missy. Did they go well? Like, did you enjoy them? Silent shows, they're super easy to set up. Like, seriously, it took me 5 minutes this afternoon to set up my show for tomorrow morning. I just, I made a thumbnail in Canva, and yeah, I think I sold a bundle of 4 items last weekend, which was fine. But I did a show Monday morning and I sold something, but then she asked to cancel right away. She made a mistake by bidding. And I was like, you know what? It's a mistake. I have no problems canceling. I don't know, because a lot of people are having problems with the bidding too. They're getting people that are bidding by accident, because apparently on the phone the bid button is close to the chat or something, and they were having people bidding by accident, and it was like not good because they kept having to cancel sales and stuff. Like, I don't know. I think using the feature is helping my sales. Does that make sense to you guys? Because I'm not making a ton of sales in my silent shows, but I think using the feature kickstarts something. It's like, really, they said actually in the title, no cancellation. I don't understand that. I mean, I understand the frustration of having to cancel and having people bid, and then I understand the frustration. But honestly, if it has not been shipped, why would you send it to the person? That makes no sense to me. I know that people, they have this mindset where I'm going to teach them a lesson. Like, if you've heard that, people say, oh, I'm going to teach that low baller a lesson, I've heard that one. Oh, this is a good story. I got a couple of stories for you tonight too. So somebody was talking about, they had a person come into their closet and bundle a few things and give them a really low offer. Frustrating, absolutely. And I think the person countered or whatever they did, but they were so mad about it and they were so upset about it, the seller, that they went into this other person's closet and did the same thing to them. Which, how old are we? I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. Why would you do that? Do you know what I mean? Like, they went in and they bundled a bunch of stuff from this person's closet and they sent them a lowball offer, like really, really low. I mean, I think Poshmark, you can't go, is it 10%? It is a waste of energy. I think so. I think people do, they get caught up, and I understand. I get frustrated too with people, with buyers, with other sellers and stuff. I can get frustrated, but in the long run, it's not going to affect my business. So I just go away. Do you know what I mean? I find that tonight I'm saying a lot of, do you know what I mean? That'll be the word of the day or the sentence of the day. So another story. I have a listing in my closets about my YouTube because I want to market it a bit. And somebody happened to like the listing, which is fantastic. But the my posh sidekick actually sent them an offer because I didn't have it as a not for sale listing. It was for sale. It was like, I think the price was 1,234, 1,234, and they got sent an offer, which they politely declined, which was really funny. And so I messaged them and I apologized because I just didn't even think about somebody liking it and getting sent an offer. And we just had a bit of a giggle about it. She was like, "Well, how did you manage to get $3.99 shipping?" Because I think if you have an item that's over, what is it, $1,000, it's $3.99 shipping. But what's a low ball? I mean, low balls are different for everybody, right? I like 50%, it's middling for me. 60, 70% is, that's way too low. And when they come up a dollar, I'm just like, yeah. You think 25% is low? Oh, okay. No way. I got what you mean. So you mean like 75% off of the sale price, Wendy? Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Because I was like, 25%. I send out offers like that all the time. But I gotcha. Takes me a minute sometimes, right? Yeah, 75% is low. And if you counter, because they tell you never decline, never decline, decline once in a while, it's not going to hurt anything. But if you counter at sort of a reasonable place and they come up a dollar, that's when I do hit decline. I say, no, I'm not playing the game with you anymore. I'm done. So those are my favorite, the dollar ones that come up. I know that there's other sellers out there that will counter at a dollar less. Do you know what I mean? Like they'll play the game because they think, again, see, I don't mind depending on the item, I don't mind a $5 jump, depending on where they started and what the item is and all that kind of stuff. But everybody's different. That is absolutely the lesson that everyone should learn, is that it is different for everyone. Your business is different than anybody else's, and we learn from each other for sure. But just because Sally's doing this and it's working for her doesn't mean that Leanna can do it and it's going to work for her, and vice versa, right? Everybody is different. I think there's some sort of basic rules that we have to follow in the sense of, making sure we're listing things that sell and doing it, doing the listing well, that it's not just cute top, even those listings sell. So I don't know. But all the other stuff about, oh, you got to list 5 a day and you got to relist 10 a day and then you got to share your closet 5 times a day. That's just, it's hyperbole, not hyperboil, right, Paul? Paul's downstairs watching. I don't even know if he's actually using keyboard to talk, but he is watching. And I used to call it hyperboil, and he laughed at me. Yeah, there is. Yeah, Paul. Anyway, Kelly, you did your first live, and yeah, it was a lot of prep, right? Because you got to get your items out of your inventory if that's what you're doing, and make sure they look presentable, hang them up, do whatever. I think this is why a lot of people will do a runner pass sale with stuff that's not listed yet, because that way they can just bring it home, get it cleaned up or whatever that their process is, and then they'll hang it ready to do a live sale. So they find ways to make it a little bit easier. But yeah, I find my prep time for a live show, because I gotta get everything out of inventory. Then I gotta, make sure it's not too wrinkled, and I gotta hang it up, and then I gotta remember where everything was, and then you actually have to be live and be on. And I don't know, I'm not a great salesman. Popularity, you know what? We were talking about that. I think there's a I mean, there are some people that are doing really, really great shows and they're doing really well, but there's others that are it seems like they have like their family and friends in their shows. And it's that party scene in that high school, the cool kids type of thing. I understand how that's how it kind of felt to me too. And I'm not a cool kid in that sense. I don't care to be a cool kid. I am myself, and I don't know. I don't want to. I think you can build your following. Like that's what we used to do on Whatnot. We haven't done a Whatnot in ever. And somebody actually asked me when my next one was going to be, and I'm like, I haven't even looked at Whatnot for like a long time, so I might revisit it. But with Poshmark, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know. Like they're not for everybody. Like the actual buying process of auctions like that is just not for everybody. I did buy something from a silent show, and it came. It was wrapped nice. It was really good. It was exactly what she said, so I was happy. Um, but I don't want to sit and wait for my item. You know what I mean? Like you can see the item if they have loaded the store up, you can see it, and I don't want to wait for that. Like I don't have the time. I don't have the time to sit down for an hour and wait for you to get to a pair of pants I want if you're not going to actually do requests, right? And if they're doing a runner pass with like a bag or a couple boxes beside them and they're just pulling items like that and you don't really know what's coming up. I mean, I could ask for what I want, but I don't know. They're not they're not something that I enjoy all that much, but other people love them. So, but yeah, the popularity contest, with Poshmark especially, because you know what, on eBay, there isn't all this social stuff. When we talk to people that sell on eBay, and it's not like it's just not part of the whole platform is to be social. On Poshmark, being social is part of it. They tell you that. And for me, it's just not, it doesn't jibe too well with me. I'm not shy, and I can be social, but I don't know. I'm on Poshmark to sell, not to make friends. And I think there's a lot more people like that, like me, than there are that go to all the parties and do all the, my PFF this and my PFF that type of thing. Nothing wrong with that. Like last night in Toronto, they did the Posh Party Live in Toronto. And I'm 3.5 hours away from Toronto, so I wasn't gonna go because that atmosphere is just too much for me. Like the music and the Did you watch it? How was it? So I did a Posh Party Live when it was on the computer. I was part of when I was on a panel. We actually filmed it a couple of days beforehand, and I actually joined the party online. That was okay, but even then, it was just I don't know, it's just not for me. That's all it is. I think if you're new and you want to get to know more about Poshmark, it's not a bad thing to do to go and meet people that do it. I think that can be really good. Um, so Wendy, you don't want to go to a live. Would you go to Poshfest? I went to the Poshfest, the first one that was online, which was it was okay. It was not bad at all. But then you know what? I could sit here in my comfy chair, in my comfy clothes, and not worry about it. Yeah. Well, it's really expensive too. Expensive being sort of, whatever you think expensive is, but I think the last one was in where Houston? Was it somewhere in Texas last time? And with the tickets themselves and then staying and then traveling there was expensive for a couple of days when all the information that they were talking about came out a couple of days later. So I've been thinking about like having a Posh and Coffee type of thing, maybe trying to network that way with Poshmark, see if that would work, but I don't know. I went to a couple of those when they started as well, the ones that are virtual. Meeting people in person would be different. Um, I know that I have a person that lives in the same town as me. We've shopped together before, and that's a lot of fun. We'll go for coffee once in a while. Um, but I don't really, besides Paul, I am very lucky because I have a partner that does this business. So we bounce ideas off of each other all the time. And we talk about, if we needed to rant about a buyer, we have each other. So we're really lucky. We don't have to go onto a Facebook group or onto Instagram and complain and, get that sort of feedback that we need. So maybe that's one of the reasons I'm not so social with the Poshmark stuff, as well as because I don't feel that I don't need PFFs. Do you know what I mean? Like it sounds, I don't know. Yes, you have your guy. See, Paul's mine. In fact, Paul helped me today set up my first auction on eBay. I have all these vintage buttons that we've had for years. And if you saw my short a couple days ago about finding all that jewelry that we lost when we moved, awesome, Kelly. So I found vintage buttons that I had for years. And I thought, oh, I'll craft with them. I'll do something. I've separated them into 1 pound lots. And I wanted to try an eBay auction. So I have one starting tomorrow. And Paul helped me do that. And I'm kind of excited. I mean, if they sell, they sell. If they don't, that's fine. You know what? I'm just going to end up listing them anyway. But Paul is my eBay guy. I'm his Poshmark girl, though, because if he'll ask me questions about Poshmark once in a while. We'll see. We'll see if this auction works. I'm getting more and more into eBay. I have listed, let's see, I listed a total of 10 like this past week, which is good for me. So, okay. And in some ways, I prefer eBay. I like the simplicity of Poshmark. It's super easy to get started, and really, it's not bad. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you. Where was I? Poshmark is simple. It's easy. The sharing. I have Posh Sidekick. That once I started doing that, and it's more hands off. It's just been easier. But I just like the attitude of eBay better. Does that make sense? It's much more business oriented, and Poshmark is more social. And I'm just not. You're welcome, Stephanie. I told everyone about your show and about your little dog and your little baby carrier. It was really cute. I had to leave early because I was running a silent show later, so I had to leave, and I didn't want to interrupt your flow, but eBay is still our top platform because Paul does eBay, but my two Poshmarks combined are getting closer and closer. So that's good. It'd be great if they were both like way up here, I'm really glad that I branched out to Posh US. I'm glad that I had that opportunity because it has opened up my sales. It's really helped a lot. So if I had to rely just on Posh Canada, I don't know. I might have been going to eBay a lot faster. So my thoughts on live shows. We're going to talk about this really quickly again. You did really well. I really enjoyed Stephanie's show. Like I said, the music wasn't too loud. In fact, some people were saying they couldn't hear it at all. But it was organized and it was low so you could hear Stephanie talk. I don't like the loud music. And some lives, we were talking about how some people are killing it. They're getting hundreds of people into their shows and they're selling for good prices, not $5. Some other people, they're there for the social and they're there to interact with their friends or with other people. And it's just, No, it's not as easy. I've done a couple of lives and I'm not loving them. Yeah, eBay is okay. We're gonna jump. eBay's kind of scary but it's really only the shipping that's the scary part. And once you figure that out, you're going to be good. Lots of work goes in. I mean, I keep saying I'm going to try another live. I don't know if I ever will. I like the silence. I can do them. And you know what? I'm sitting at the computer anyway. And when I'm doing my silent, I'm also working on my phone. So I can do other things while I'm doing a silent show. Maybe it's just a matter of getting used to them, Stephanie. You know, it's once you learn how to do something, we were talking about this because we use Stallion as our cross-border shipper. And when I first started on Posh US, I couldn't figure out what Stallion wanted from me. I had to go through, I had to do this and this, and I kept having to say, "Hey, Paul, where's this button? What do I do?" And then a couple months go by, and you're just doing it because you've learned it. And then just like, why was I afraid? You know? And this is what it is. It's like, why was I so afraid? And why not just try it? Yeah. Speaking of that, one of the other things I wanted to touch base with, well, let me make sure that I have everything. Okay, so I told you about that, did that. So we're talking about live shows, and do you think that getting noticed by Poshmark, like head office Poshmark, gives you an advantage over everybody else? That's, I think, the way I have to say it. And the reason I ask, because, like I said earlier, I did do a panel for Posh Party Live like a year ago when it was virtual. It was a lot of fun, and I did have fun doing it. And I felt part of the team, right? And I felt, they're going to be pushing my listings, and I'm going to get more notice in my closet because I'm doing all of this. And I'm just wondering if doing the live shows is getting you more notice with Poshmark, and that is helping to push your listings up in a sense. Not conspiracy theory type stuff, guys, just in general. I mean, I don't think it hurts at all. But do you think it helps? Yeah. Or is it just because it's sort of wrapped up with like the more attention that you get from Poshmark itself opens up your market, opens up your network because people will see you because Poshmark is, promoting you. That's the word I was thinking of, promoting you. Yeah, the more involved, but that's like using all their features. But I think they want you to use your features, right? They have told us they're bringing something new out, use the feature. So I try to use the features as much as I can. I I stopped using my shoppers because I send out offers now, so I don't do a lot of closet clear out, or yeah, they don't give us any analytics, do they? Which reminds me, oh, did she come to your show? Oh, that's amazing stuff. Oh, that's good. See, they keep an eye on it. So, I mean, it won't hurt. That's for sure. And no, we don't get analytics, but it reminds me it is the end of the month. So I have to make sure that my sales, I write them down so I know what I'm doing. Yeah, they are definitely wanting us to use the live show features for sure. But I do silence because I don't want to do lives because they take a lot of work beforehand and during. And you had a pretty good show. You had good people in your show. So that's good. I mean, I do silence on a pop-up type of basis, and it's like it works for me. So I think you can still get away if you don't want to do lives. I think that's fine. Well, I wonder if they could do CCO with the bundles because for the most part, people buy more than one thing, right? I wouldn't be doing shows on Fridays or Sundays either. I know that some people work around that by bundling, making like a special bundle of all the purchases and saying this is, what, this is Sally's bundle, and then she'll repurchase it and then she'll like it. They'll drop the price a little bit and they'll purchase it that way. I've heard people doing that. So that's kind of interesting. Wendy, I'm sorry. I jinxed you because I used CCO the other day on Sunday. I was using it. I use it a little bit. I don't use it a lot. But this month, March, has been very strange. Yeah. That would be my worry too, that they wouldn't buy again. But you know what? They're for the most part, they are getting items at a really good price. So they shouldn't be worried about that. If you're in Canada, it's $13.49. You're going to take a break from it. I did a little bit today on CCO, but not major. I just let my offers, Posh Sidekick sends out my offers and I let them do it because I just find it easier. And for me, I like to keep it simple. And I know Poshmark wants me to use all those features, like using my shoppers, which I really should be using more because I could say, hey, I'm having a show. You like this item, it's going to be in the show, something like that. But I also don't want the shoppers to be mad at me because I'm bothering them, because that happens too. So um there's a couple of, like, the bulk listing. Have you ever done the bulk listing? You can do it on your computer, but I think it uses Excel, if I'm not mistaken. It's weird. The bulk actual you bulk list, so you can just put everything in and just list it together or something. I've never used that because I couldn't. I just don't have I don't have Excel on my computer. But I used the bulk price drop today. That worked. So on Posh shows, when you go, it's interesting because I'm on Posh US as well. And who was it? I forget. I think her name is Curated something. And Poshmark Canada did a little feature on her. She does great shows too, by the way. They did a feature on her on Instagram, and the next day she had a show and she had over 100 people in her show, which is really great. And she does really good shows. I don't know I don't know, because I mean, warmer months usually means slower sales anyway. I mean, I'm not tied to my phone. I am, but I'm not, if you know what I mean. And I would find it really hard to watch a show on my phone. I think so, Wendy. I think so. I've popped into her shows a couple of times and organized, no music, to the point, talking about the fabrics, talking about this, not talking about, yes, dark hair. I mean, some people get, 50, 60, 70 people in their shows, and that's fantastic. And I think those are the shows that are doing really well, honestly. Hi, Fanny. Okay, so thank you. Do you think the algorithm push closets with, yes? Doesn't, or is goes next? Okay, so I think right now Poshmark algorithm does like live shows or silent shows, whatever. They like you using the feature. I noticed that when I do a silent show, my sharing and share backs and all that kind of stuff, like my activity in my closet, is much, much more after my show is done, which is interesting because my shows are only about half an hour at the very most. So I don't know, excuse me, I don't know if it's bringing traffic to my closet because my sales have been pretty good since I've started doing this, or it's just the way it is. I know, okay, so for Canada is different than the States because on the Posh US, you have show after show after show after show. Like, there's a lot of shows. You could get lost in all the shows. But here in Canada, like, you go into the shows and there might be 4 or 5 running. And if you've got your face out there and your closet name or whatever, people have that, and that might lead it. Just scheduling a show. Do you know what I mean? If people are interested in shows, they're looking to see what's coming up, and that might drive traffic into your closet. So, like we've been talking about, Poshmark likes you to use their features. And some features are great and some features just aren't for me and I just won't use them. And I'm not all that social. So I'm not ever going to be a perfect posher. But Poshmark makes me money, so I'm really happy about that. Pardon me. Okay, so we talked about getting noticed by Poshmark because I've had the experience and I don't want to jump through the hoops. I think for me that's what it is I work for myself. I don't have a boss and I don't like to think that they're my boss. And I'm not going to jump through the hoops that they want me to. So pardon me, I'm so sorry about the cough again. One of the things I wanted to touch on is reselling and social media and mental health and making sure that you're okay. Do you know what I mean? That's that sentence again. Do you know what I mean? Um, I know for me, there has been times where I've gone down that rabbit hole of comparing myself to people on Instagram, especially. And pardon me, this is not a good idea to do. Though I know when I'm getting to that point, I have to step away from social media and it's getting fewer and further, like sort of, I don't have to do it nearly as often anymore because I have stopped following people that I'm not going to say make me feel bad because they're not intending to make me feel bad. But those people that only post their sales. Oh, I made $7,000 yesterday. Look at me. Those kinds of people. I have unfollowed that kind of account because it just doesn't help me. There's no tips there. There's no, there's no knowledge there. It's just look at me, look at me. So for me, I've stopped following those kinds of people and it's making me feel better. Like there's sort of 2 points to this. Unfollow those people that make you feel bad about yourself because there's no room in this business to feel bad about yourself. Always remember that it is a business and the items that you are selling are just items. They're not your items. They have nothing to do with you as a person. They are items. That's it. I'm sorry, I'm going to cough now because I don't know what happened. I could suck in a halls, but that might be rude. What do you guys think? Would that be rude? Or is the coughing ruder? Okay. Oh, little black kitty cat's here. You won't see the little black kitty cat because she's shy. She's really shy. She'll run away. That's what she did. Have a halls. Thanks, Wendy. Yes and no, Thor. Yes, I think as a reseller, I don't share absolutely every bit of information. I do keep some things to myself. Is that wrong? I don't think it's wrong. Um, I think most people will keep some stuff to themselves. And even if they're an open book, I try to share as much knowledge as I possibly can. But I don't share everything. I think, yeah, it's a business. I feel weird sucking on a halls and talking at the same time. So it is a business. And we're not really I mean, it's going to sound weird, but we're not really in competition with each other. We kind of are, but we're kind of not either because, there's enough of the pie out there. At least I think there's enough of the pie out there that if I tell you that, you know what, these staplers, this brand of stapler, it is selling like hotcakes. You know what? I love this brand. I get it cheap. So you know what I mean? Los, you want me to say this? Los Alamos National Laboratory. That is a mouthful. And you're welcome. Thank you for coming by. Anyway, it's Friday night and I'm tired. I've been I've been good this week. Yesterday was a very busy day because I went to the cross-border shipper. I actually filmed, so I did a day in the life, and that video is coming out Monday, which I'm excited about because it's different. I'm also going to do the haul from Goodwill. I'm going to film that and get that out too, because even though I shouldn't have gone, troll, no. Anyway. Does that mean I made it? I think so. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about besides the things that live under bridges? Oh, they are watching. Oh, yay. Thank you. With social media, reselling, mental health, self-esteem, it's a business. And I know it's hard to keep it all separated because you know what? You get frustrated. You're allowed to be frustrated with bad buyers, low ballers, other sellers that are dinks. You know, you're allowed to be frustrated and angry, and you know, it can get overwhelming as well. So absolutely, you're going to feel those feelings, right? So it makes sense that you would feel that. You would not in a real job. I shouldn't say real job. In a normal everyday job, you may have bad days, right? You may have a boss that is a dink or that is not nice to you or whatever, and it's going to affect you in some ways. That was eBay. Yay for eBay. Okay, yes, I'm checking my eBay. I should have put my phone on. Oh, that's a good one. That was a good one, honey. I don't know. I can't share it because I don't know exactly what it is. I just saw the money. So I'm gonna get off track here. Paul and I have a game that we play. We sort of compete with each other. It could have been on pay immediately because Paul does that on some of his listings. Yeah, sometimes they pay fast. I made an eBay sale last week. I totally forget what it was. And it took them 2 days to pay. I was not happy about that because I'm so used to Poshmark where they pay right away, which is a good thing about Poshmark for sure. With eBay, they got, I think it's 4 days sometimes, and it's just, can you just pay? Like you're buying it, pay for it because it's out of circulation once they sort of buy it, right? That's not bad, Wendy. 1 day. That's really good. I mean, I don't think we get a ton of unpaid. There has been a few, and they're annoying. It's like, why did you even bother? Okay, I have to take this out of my mouth now because I'm going to start to chew on it. Yes, a lot of easy. So P&L Randoms is Paul. He's downstairs. That is our eBay store name. That was a good sale, honey. Way to go. Anyway, we have this game where we compete with each other. Knock on wood. So if Poshmark does really good one day and eBay does nothing, I win, right? And it's weird because it's not a competition because we're together, and it's not that one has to beat the other. But I would love one day for my Poshmark sales to be so much more that they beat eBay. I would love that. I would dance. I would do a little woohoo. And that doesn't mean I want eBay to go way down to meet Poshmark. I want Poshmark to go, oh, a vintage piece of test equipment. That's random. Sorry. Paul is very, very, very good at picking up the unique and the weird, and he's really good at that. And he has a background in electric equipment, so he has a set of knowledge, set of tools that I have no clue about. But then I'll pick up something like a dress or something, and he'd be like, why? So we each have our strengths. And like I said earlier, we bounce. Yeah, like your Bart Simpson's mask. Yeah. I actually got one of those scream masks. It's at the office, though. It's not the expensive ones. It's just a middling one, but still. Anyway, Paul and I, we bounce things off of each other, which is really great. And every once in a while, I do talk to Wendy as well. We bounce things off of each other, and it's awesome. I think it's good to have people that know your business that can help you out. Sorry, I'm reading the chat, and my valiant Thor, the message was retracted. So I guess that was a troll. I had my first troll. Anyway, I'm losing my brain here. Finding somebody or a group like a Facebook group or Instagram or whatever to bounce those ideas off of will help out a lot. If you know of any Facebook groups that you like, and yes, maybe I'm old and I use Facebook. I use Instagram too, but not a nasty one. I do have a couple of Facebook groups that I do belong to that I like, that don't like. There's some, I've been into some Facebook groups and they're just nasty. They're just mean to each other and they're nasty about buyers and other sellers, and it's just not right. So there's Canadian Posh Bosses, which is one which is not really active anymore, which is sad because it wasn't a bad group at all. And the other one is, I think it's Poshmark Sellers Community, something like that. I could look, right? But they've helped out a lot to bounce ideas off of, or just to get other people's experiences, and it's really great. So I belong to Poshmark Sellers Only, and the day that I want to find this first group, they're not here. I'll go to my groups. Poshmark Community Buyers and Sellers. That's the name of it. And that's a pretty good group. So, okay. Is there anything else anybody wants to talk about? Or are we good? Paul, do you want to talk about anything? No? These are my flamingo glasses. I thrifted these, and they're lovely. They're actually really nice in the summer, and you do gin and lemonade. It's really good. Okay. All right. I think that'll be it then. Unless anybody wants to talk about anything else, I'm going to say goodnight soon. I'm going to try and do lives probably once a month, the last Friday kind of thing. That's what I'm looking at. Thank you, Missy. You too. You have a great weekend. I got to get some pictures done this weekend. That's what I do. Yeah, I'm not a warehouse. That helps me with that too, honey. It's a good way to move your product. I am not. Oh my God, my jewelry. So far, nothing really has sold except for the gift that I got for free. Those snake earrings that they sent me as a gift, those sold. What did they sell for? Not very much. I ended up making like $5.50 or something. Yeah, lots of likes. The little necklaces, the mushroom ones, are getting lots of likes. That is actually what I used Closet Clear Out for today, because I priced them a little bit higher because I'm still playing with the price. People had liked them, so I dropped it to see if maybe they would buy it with Closet Clear Out. I'm going to relist them all again tomorrow and start fresh, but maybe with the summer season, it will help move it too. Yeah. Like, it's an experiment, so I'm really glad that I'm doing it because I think it's a good experience and I'm learning a lot. Like, maybe I didn't pick exactly the right things because the price point to actually make money isn't there, so we'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm gonna photograph I gotta do I have to get to the office tomorrow or Sunday to photograph because I went sourcing and I shouldn't have. And I really need to start the month strong. And I'm going to revamp my quotas because I was doing 100 a month. I was going to say a week. I'm not doing 100 listings a week. 100 listings a month. And I think I want to up that to about 125. I think that would be better. So I have to get my button gear and go and do some steaming and some photographs because I've got some good stuff that I have to get listed. So vintage dining pieces. I've had teacups on both eBay and Posh, and they do sell a little bit on Poshmark. I just sold a vintage one that they call a mustache teacup. So it's got a little, it's like a sippy cup type thing. It's got this bar across it so the man doesn't get his mustache into the tea, and it has a little hole. It's really cute. I sold that to Posh US. And I think Paul actually on Etsy we sold a bowl that I think is vintage, but I'm not 100% sure. But I don't find that they sell fast. Salad tea. I wasn't sure if it was vintage, honey. Yeah, I find that the English porcelain stuff, it just doesn't move fast at all right anymore. And it's sad because it's so pretty. I know that I've started collecting plates. We have a matching set of dishes, we do. But I decided they were boring. And now every time I go to the thrift store, I try to find a plate. And the only sort of rule is it's got to have a mark on the back, like it has to be marked with some sort of vintage, whatever. And it has to have the color green in it, and that's it. But I mean, I don't source them on eBay or Posh because I don't like prices there. I like thrift store prices. Okay. A lot of vintage hard goods, whether dinnerware, cutlery. Yeah. But vintage clothing sells. Lots of people sell vintage clothing. And if I can find the one. So I picked this up today. I'm going to show you this. This is the last thing I'm going to show you. So this is a vintage little dress, denim dress. It's got little pockets, and it's got these cute little flip-flops. I picked that up for the $7.49 divided by 2. So $3.50, $3.75-ish kind of thing. I thought that was really cute. And it's an XL, so you collect vintage Tupperware. Do you have the pickle thing? The pickle thing's cool. Too. We did pick up Tupperware egg containers. I don't remember that, honey. Paul's picking things up without me now. I don't know. Egg containers. The pickle things, right? I used to sell Tupperware. I did that for like a couple of months because, I mean, this is like way, like, so I think my youngest might have been just born. So 30 years, she'll be 30 this summer. That's a good idea. Olives. I love olives. Paul doesn't like olives, but I love olives. Great. Now I need to pickle things. Oh, this egg separate. Okay. I don't even know what Paul's talking about. because I don't remember what he's talking about. They were Tupperware? He's gonna have to show me. I'm glad Wendy knows what you're talking about, Paul, because I don't. I'll know them to see them. I'll be like, oh yeah, those things. Okay. Are they listed, Paul? Oh. Anyway. And yolk and an egg. I don't know what he's talking about. I think he's crazy. Do. Oh, my phone doesn't want to load today. Okay. Anyway. Yes, I'm going to be looking to see if I can see what these look like. Tupperware. Find it. That's not a good picture. Can you see that? I don't know what he's talking about. He must pick them up, and I have no clue. And that's okay. That's the way that we work. I don't know what he has listed. He doesn't know what I have listed. But it's cross-listed all over the place, so. Okay, guys, we're coming up on the hour. I think we're going to call it a night, unless there is anything that anybody wants to talk about. If not, we are going to call it a night. Excuse me. Okay. Thank you all very much for stopping by. Thank you for my first troll. That was awesome. I really do appreciate you guys coming by and having a chat. It makes me feel really good, and I love it. And I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. I do have a video coming out Monday. It's a day in the life, so check it out. You're welcome, Fanny. Thank you, Wendy, for stopping by. Thank you, honey, for helping me. Oh, I think I got everybody. And Missy, if you're still here, thank you very much. And Kelly, thank you very much. And Stephanie, that was here, thank you for supporting me. I appreciate it. Okay, that's it, everybody. Everybody have a great weekend. I'll see you later. Bye.